Okay, so comments before we get started. Uh, this is the first video not to feature a Friday Night Funkin' stage, so I'm kind of glad about that. After you get like so many of the same Friday Night Funkin' stages that are all enormous and need to be rescaled, it gets kind of wearisome. But also, there's not too many breakout stages in this video. Unfortunately, even the good ones, it seems like there's some minor thing wrong with like every last one of them that's happened in this video, which is a shame. Okay, this first stage here, Sword Fights on Heights 4, was actually supposed to be in the last video. I even downloaded it back when I made the last video, but I accidentally put it in the wrong folder, so it didn't pop up. So yeah, here's another Roblox stage, Sword Fights on Heights 4. Now, the stage is pretty straightforward. There isn't too many stray pixels or anything that's like obviously drawing the eyes compared to a lot of the others. So like, there isn't much really need for me to do anything to it. If you've been liking the Classic Fan's Roblox stages, I guess this is another fine one for you. Okay, this stage is supposedly based on Garry's mod. They came with several versions, a zoom version and a widescreen version. I'm going to show off the zoom version. Now we have what looks like bad rip dots here. I can see little pink notches, and I assume they used pink as their transparency color and didn't quite rip it off right. The whole thing has a bunch of little like iffy dots and stuff. Like right here, this is completely broken. Whatever this thing around the like loop or wire. You can see it's like knocked out in the center here, it's not connecting. There's little stray dots all over this. I mean, I appreciate they tried with the stage. It's clearly got some deltas going on, and, you know, they did put some effort in. However, there's just so many little, like, minor things. It looks kind of off. And you may see under the stage, the floor is, like, open and exposed. There's, like, should be, you know, sunk down. Yeah, you can see the stage under the floor if you zoom out. You can only see that in the zoom version, but, I mean, I thought I should point it out. If there was a specific character to go here, I'd probably give this stage a pass. Because, like, even though it's kind of badly ripped, it's not the worst thing in the world. But since it's a Garry's mod stage, and I'm pretty sure that means there is no specific character, I'm not so sure I'm going to keep this one. I'll probably just delete it. This is based on a game. At least there is Cedovic. Never heard of it. It looks like a Super Mario World stage. I mean, this looks like straight out of Super Mario, even though it's clearly not. Now, this seems fine on the surface, but there's a pretty big mistake in it. So let's walk to the left. Bam, I hit an invisible wall. Look how much is, like, overshot with the bound here. Like, I'm nowhere near the edge of the screen. It's on the other end, too. Yeah, like, coming up so short. So yeah, that would have to be patched out. I don't know if that's enough for a proper stage surgery, but I'll probably just post it on the YouTube channel. Like, I'll post a fix and just post it on the YouTube channel instead of posting it at the Mugen archive. Your only move is hustle, and I'm pretty sure that's the name of the game that this is based on. As we can see, what looks like exposed void below the floor. It's just a black screen with like this white floor. It's very, very basic. And once again, coming up really short on the left and right bounds. Plus it's like extra zoomed in more than it needs to be. Yep, here we go. Hits the wall. For some reason it's programmed like that. Is this really worth salvaging? It's just a white line. Next up is a set of 4 Scott Pilgrim vs. the World stages by Zior. And they all have like minor things wrong with them, even though they look really good. Okay, Underpass here is probably one of the least messed up ones. Everything looks fine, the art looks fine. However, there's exposed void at the top, so that needs to be fixed. Live show, also by Zior. Once again, there's exposed void at the top, and quite a bit more of it this time. Yeah, look at all that exposed void up there, it's a lot. But there's another big flaw in the stage. Okay, you see how that was weird, how the stage like slowly pushed to the right? Yeah, look at that. Okay, so here's the big thing. He's messed up the bound on the right. So like when I walk left as Kung Fu Man, it automatically pulls the second player slash Hinata here to the left. And that looks really bad, and it's a pretty big mistake. So that would have to be fixed. Party at Julie's, also by Zior. I don't know why the sound file isn't working. I'm pretty sure it came with one. And once again, if we watch the top, there's exposed void up there. So that needs to be tightened up and fixed. Here's the last one of that pack, Snowy Toronto. Like I said, these stages look great, but... Okay, not only is there exposed void at the top of this one, there's a strange blue line up there that doesn't need to exist. See? There's like a blue line up there before the exposed void. I'm not sure why it's like that. So that would have to be fixed. I'll probably just like fix all the errors and release them in a pack, since this came in, or these 4 stages also came in a pack to begin with. So yeah, I'll probably just fix them up and re-release them with their little errors patched out. Henry Stickmin, Toppat Engine Room. Now, right off the bat, you don't even have to do anything to see it. There's this gray exposed void behind the stage. And I'm pretty sure it's below the stage too, though it's less obvious. And the rip could be a lot better. This looks like JPEG fuzz or JPEG error damage. And if we walk to the right, we're clearly walking on this boulder thing. So walking on a picture syndrome besides the other problems. So if I was going to mess with this, I'd probably just redraw the art and just cut the boulder out. It needs to be like resized to be bigger and have the art cleaned up. Whether I'm willing to do this or not, we'll see. Okay, we have another solid Vectorman stage from Mr. I, Dark Ruins. And it's great. And I have no complaints, and I don't have to do anything to it. It's fine as it is. Which, trust me, I'm thankful for. Okay, this stage is from Genshin Impact, Golden House. Okay, first off, it's trying to be widescreen, but it comes up a little short on the left and right, because you can see a little bit, like a couple pixels. I know I'm being nitpicky, of this black line, when I'm pretty sure they were trying to go for the full widescreen. My second beef, if it's really even a beef, is I have no idea what the scaling should be. Like, there's nothing to really scale it against. Now check out the zoom on this thing. Look, holy crap, the stage is like enormous. Like, holy crap. I feel like this should probably be shrunken down. This is so big. Also, we're coming up ever so slightly short on the left and right. Like, I should be able to walk closer to the edge. But, I don't know. Like, I need to look at a picture of, like, Genshin Impact and see how, like, big a character is compared to this room. But that might be a very, like, hard thing to get right. I just have a feeling like it would look better if it was scaled down. Like, so you wouldn't have to zoom out so far to see the whole picture. It's pretty damn good besides that. Oh, I guess I'd have to make these lanterns in the foreground transparent. And so you could see your characters when they went behind them. Because that could get really, like, frustrating under certain circumstances. Next, we got two Freedom Planet stages by Cater 15. Final Dreadnought 4. It comes with a few versions, like, so it probably has you covered if you only have 1.0. Like, I think it comes with zoom and widescreen. And it's perfectly fine, thankfully. I don't see any errors. There's no sliding floor. It's great. Okay, Horizon Starport, also from Freedom Planet. This reminds me of Mega Man X's opening stage so much. God, it looks so much like Mega Man X's opening stage. But yeah, this is another solid stage. I don't have to do anything to it. It is fine. I don't think this is on the original creator, but it just seems so weird that these bars in the foreground are taller than the ones in the background. I assume that's how the original art is, but it still just, like, immediately catches my eye. It's weird. So yeah, I think the stage is fine. I recommend it. Okay, I'm not sure what this is. I think it might be from Jump Ultimate Stars, while also being a custom. Okay, we can clearly see, like, F-Zero on a screen back there. But the stage is listed as JUS, so I think it might be the other assets of this stage are from Jump Ultimate Stars. Though these little trucks that are going by, it's been a while, but I swear they look like they're from Mega Man X. Just talking about Mega Man X again, like the opening stage of Mega Man X, where the cars rush by at the very beginning. Maybe I'm imagining things. So this is just, like, odd because the scale is obviously, like, crazy off. Like, those cars are, like, microscopic next to the Kung Fu Man. They're like little toys. So if I was gonna mess with this, I'd probably have to, like, scale it up. I don't know. I think this one's a little weird to me. I don't think I want to delete it, though, so I might just give it a rescale. Okay, a Brawlhalla stage, the Great Hall. There's a little few problems here. Okay, first off, it's got that narrow view, which I don't like. So if I was going to mess with this, I'd have to take that away. The shadows don't make a hell of a lot of sense, even though that's nitpicking. As you can see, where the Z offset is wrong, like, we're clearly walking below where we should be walking. Like, the 4 platforms up here, we're walking just beneath it. So I'm not sure why they programmed it like that. So yeah, the characters would have to be moved up. The shadows, I would take those out. It's clearly like a frozen animation in the background, if it was ever animated, which just kind of draws the eye when you have flowing water that isn't actually flowing. But there's one other big flaw. That's a lot of exposed void up there. You can just see it just by jumping. Like, you don't even need to launch somebody. It's a pretty picture, though, but I have a feeling if it is an animated version out there, it would look so much better if someone could get that instead of this. Okay, this stage is from Pack Guy 2, First Contact. I would assume that's a Pac-Man related stage or related game, but I don't know for sure. This certainly doesn't look what I'd associate with Pac-Man with. Scaling is fine. If, like, Kung Fu Man walked like a tiny bit into the background to sit in that chair, I would absolutely buy it. Now the floor is sliding. I actually like the look of the parallax floor, but it is absolutely sliding. God, I don't know how to repair that, honestly. I don't know how to fix sliding on a parallax floor. That's a little bit above my pay grade, even though the stage is pretty solid regardless. Even if it, like, the mantle looks a little weird. Like, you'd expect the wood paneling to come down right above this mantle. So, like, I don't know if what's this with this gray space above it. If that's, like, accurate or intentional even. I don't know. Even with the sliding floor, I think I'm probably gonna keep it. Okay, we have 2 stages here based on the Pack menu screen. We got the Pack, and then there's also the Pack Walmart. They are super close to one another. I can't imagine a reason to keeping them both. Okay, I'll show off the first one first. Now, there isn't any, like, actual animation going on in the background. Like, assuming this is, like, Pac-Man themed, there's no ghost or anything, it's just this flashing menu. And then we have, once again, we have a sliding floor. So, like, we can watch, Hinata's speed, she's clearly sliding. And once again, I don't know how to fix that. Seems like a weird stage to keep regardless. Here's the Walmart variant. It's near identical except the floor is different. And there's a couple different logo variations. I don't know why it's called the Walmart version. As you can see, it doesn't seem to be much different except the floor. We got a stage based on Homestuck, or maybe it's some from Homestuck fan game. I have no idea. All I know is it's got very close to walking on a picture syndrome, but look at these keyboards in the background. Now, if Kung Fu Man walked into the distance to get to one of those keyboards, he probably wouldn't be like tall enough to like touch the keyboard. So this stage, if I were to keep it, would have to be scaled down significantly. And I'm just not sure it's worth it. Hell, I don't even know if there's good Homestuck characters for Mugen. Okay, this is based on a Flash game of the same name, Alloy Arena. And we have problems. Okay, so when I looked at Mugen Archive, the stage clearly looks like it has a floor that's below this picture. So I'd have to scale this down to get the floor to reappear. But I mean, it's just such a dirty rip. And like, how bad do I need it? Oh, it's so ugly. I'm pretty sure this is just getting straight deleted. I would also have to check if I have the character Alloy, which I think has been released from Mugen. And the only way I would like give this stage like even close to a pass or put effort into fixing it up is if that Alloy character from Mugen is actually like a quite good character. So for now, this is absolutely not. Okay, we got a PlayStation All-Star stage, Hades. And we are clearly walking on a picture. It's a frozen animation, it's very obvious. And the scale is crazy off. Like, I'm pretty sure those torches would be like, you know, if these were compared to a human, they'd be like ants to like Kung Fu Man. Like, he should be, that torch should be like half his size at the very least. Or something. I don't know, just like this is clearly like way, way off. Also, in a previous video, someone had made a custom Hades stage instead of this screen rip. Now, if you want a Hades stage, I would go with this custom already shown off in a previous video. So yeah, we have this like fully like fan-sprited version. And it's so, like, it's in a different league completely, of course, than the one we just looked at. So if you want a Hades stage, one out there exists for you. It's this thing. It's great. Just go with this. Okay, this is from Iconoclast, Shard Wastelands. And the sprite work on it is beautiful. Yeah, I like this quite a lot. This, like, when I said there was no breakout stages in this video, this is, like, the closest thing to a breakout stage. Like, this is great. I love this. Now, you could argue the scale is off, but I'm not going to touch this one unless someone, like, specifically asks me to rescale it. So, yeah, if you want this rescaled, I'll do it for you, but otherwise, I'm leaving it alone for now. Okay, I think this is from Earthworm Jim. I'm not 100% positive. We got What the Heck? Yeah, I think that's that cat villain from Earthworm Jim in the background. That's the only thing that's making me guess that. I haven't really messed with Earthworm Jim too much myself, so it's not like I can immediately identify it. And scaling is probably fine. Yeah, all I really need to do is just put some music to this, and I'm definitely going to keep it. See, no void at the top, no sliding floor. Okay, another stage where I'm not really clear where it's from. It says ZX Petrio stage, but when I look at it, I'm pretty sure it's not from Mega Man ZX, so I really have no idea. Now, it's pretty plain, but then there's two errors I noticed outside of it just being plain. Maybe the bound type could be loosened a little. So you like Kung Fu Man should be able to at least walk to the side of the stage with his elbow. But there's exposed void at the top that's super obvious, all you have to do is jump to see it. And if we walk to the right, you can barely tell it, but there's like a chunk out of the stage here. Like the black line is, seems like a black line here. This isn't actually an exposed void line that shouldn't be there. I don't know, it's messed up. Yeah, so that shouldn't be there. Thing at the top should be tightened up. It just looks a little off, kind of basic. Okay, we got the stage from League of Light, which is a hidden object game. The Ice Queen's castle exterior. It also comes with a zoom version. I'll show off the zoom version. Now, it's a pretty picture, and the snowing effect is nice. We got this lightning over here, which clearly makes it look like a frozen animation. So that's not the best thing in the world. I also think the scale probably needs to be brought down a little, because this door is pretty big. Like, if Kung Fu Man walked to that door, hell, he's probably not even tall enough right now to, like, fit through it. Probably just looks a little off. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a really close call. Maybe I'll just leave it alone. The stage is pretty good otherwise. I think it's a definite keep, even if I have to do some work on it. We got two Garry's Mod stages, Golden City and Big City. Now, this is a pretty crisp rip, and I mean, it's pretty nice in that regard. I think it works pretty well as a fighting game stage. I don't know who you'd put here, but I think it looks pretty nice. Now, about the next stage, the Big City stage. In a previous video, we already showed off another version of Big City. So I'm going to show off the new version for this video, and then I'm going to show off the ones that we already reviewed, just for comparison's sake. So here's the new one. It's a very crisp image again. So I like that about it. There's no exposed void up there. Fine. Okay, here's the one we already reviewed. The picture is a little less crisp. I can see JPEG damage on it. It's still not that bad, but if I had to pick one of the two to keep, instead of just having them both, I would pick the new one. The next two stages are from GoldenEye for the N64. You got, oh god, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. It looks like Severnaya Bunker. Now, first off, the floor is absolutely sliding and sinking. See? I jump up, they sink into the floor. I move, they slide all over the place. So that's not an immediate bad, besides this thing not looking too great. There's also a graphic error on the right side of the screen. Okay, see this like a black line over here? No idea why that's there. And I would think this was broken tiling, but I don't think it is. I think it's just some weird patch job. Maybe he tried to stitch two images together to make the screen fill out. It doesn't line up perfectly, like we can see the pattern here of this wall is like broken. Like, yeah, I don't know how this happened, but that's my suspicion. I don't think he should have pushed it that far if he needed extra image. If he was going to make that mistake, he should have just, like, you know, cut the bound off here. It's pretty ugly and blurry. I'm not, like, so into Cold 964 that I need a bunch of reps for it. Okay, here its counterpart, Severnaya Bunker. Wow, this looks noticeably better than the last stage. Once again, the floor is sliding and sinking. And once again, we've got this weird error over here on the right side of the screen where it looks like a separate image was patched in wrong. Like everything's down like 2 pixels. Not sure why that happened, it's weird. Yeah, I'm not keeping this. Okay, we got another Rivals of Aether stage, but this time by a different creator. Aramata. Now, the first thing I noticed is Kung Fu Man should be moved up a couple pixels, or the offset should be moved up so he's walking atop the line. Beyond that, it's great. I mean, I love the moving camera. All the sprite work looks great. There's animations on the background that look nice. I have nothing but compliments for this stage outside of that one little problem. Got a Rayman stage, Mr. Darkslayer. Now this image is pretty straightforward and it's a pretty decent working image for a fighting game stage. However, we do have a sinking floor. See, I jump up, I sink on the floor. There's exposed void at the top also. So I would have to fix both of those. It doesn't have, I'm sure the floor would also be sliding if I could go further left and right. But since I can't, you can only see that it's sinking. So yeah, I'd have to fix those 2 problems, and then I'd probably keep it. I don't think there's too many Rayman characters from Mugen, but I could be wrong. Okay, we got another adaptation of The Town with No Name, even though this mistitles it as The Town with the No Name, which is pretty funny. We already reviewed a version of this stage, which I'll show off after this one. But here's this new version. And it's a really, really bad rip. This is like a rip so bad, it's just like I don't even understand how you could rip it this bad. So yeah, this is really blurry and ugly. There's no technical problems, but there's no way I'm keeping this, especially since the version that's already released is noticeably better. Okay, here's the version we already reviewed in a different episode. You see, as bad as this game, like, looks, this is a much more crisp rip without blurry nonsense in it. But this version does have a sliding and sinking floor, which is bad. However, it still beats out the other version. The other version is trash. We got another stage based on Five Nights at Treasure Island, that Five Nights at Freddy's parody game. Now this is a different screenshot than the ones we looked at before, so I don't really need to compare it to the old versions. It's got some of the same old problems though, that it's dark as hell, so dark that I can't even tell what some of the things are. Once again, I know it's a horror stage, but maybe brighten it up just a little. I can't tell if there's exposed void or not since it's so dark. Like, I'd have to brighten it up to even tell if there was that kind of mistake. I'm not sure how well this really works as a fighting game stage since, like, clearly the picture was not meant to be walked on. Like, I'm gonna have to walk off the stage just so I don't walk on this monitor over here on the right. I'm not really feeling this one. I'm probably just gonna delete it. We got Treeland Forest from Toki going apespit. Now, it doesn't take much for me to see these bad rip dots on this tree here. It's so blurry. There's like bad rip dots on these rocks. I don't know how, like, you could rip the sprites and come up with a result this bad. This like dark gray line on the rocks is also a little suspicious, but maybe that's accurate. There's just got to be a way to get a cleaner image than this. So yeah, as is, probably not keeping, but I might, and I just might, go rip this myself to replace this with a more like accurate ripped version. Got this Inferno stage here from a game of the same name, I think. Now, there's a couple things right off the bat. Now, it's a zoom enabled stage. We can clearly see that we can see below the stage when we shouldn't be able to down here. Also, if I jump like crazy, exposed void at the top, like a lot of exposed void at the top. So that would also need to be taken care of. And I think the stage probably should be scaled down. I don't know, it looks off to me. Like, I can't imagine by the time like a standardized person walked to that doorway up there, which looks really back in the window, that they'd be the correct size. It just looks off to me. Yeah, like, I think I'd be way too small for this door on this trailer or train cart. So I think the stage needs to be shrunken, and then have all the little like exposed void and the bound high fixed. Otherwise, it looks pretty nice. We got a set of RoboCop stages, which looks like it's from a really, really old comp. Okay, so a Tomo background. As we can see, the graphics look super ancient, and this is definitely not fit to be a fighting game stage. Hell, this thing on the right doesn't even look fit to exist. And there's exposed void at the top. It's just absolutely no way I would keep this. It's like walking on a picture to the extreme. Another RoboCop. Yeah, once again, the graphics here look like pre-NES. Exposed void at the top, frozen animation, just no way. And yet another one. Why, this looks closer to being a actually adaptable version for a stage. It's just still, once again, that it's like so basic. Also, I'm like, the car and the scaling would be way off even if I were to try to keep this. But just no way. The graphics are too, like, far gone. Yet another one. Clearly walking on this fence. Scaling is off. I'm walking into this tank on the right. Just absolutely no way. ED209 from RoboCop. I'm walking on his foot. Like, just move the Z offset down. If this is even gonna be keepable, why am I walking on the character? Once again, just no, just absolutely no. Okay, this American Way stage is supposedly by the same creator that just made all those RoboCop stages. And it's also supposedly from yet another RoboCop game. However, this stage is just so much better than the last few stages we were looking at. It's almost hard to believe why it's by the same creator. I'm guessing they just really, really like RoboCop and like wanted to include everything RoboCop that they could get quick hands on. But I mean, yeah, this stage is actually pretty competent. The only thing that's off on it at all that I noticed is that the parallax isn't quite right. Like, it's ever so slightly sliding floor issues, which, once again, I don't know how to fix. Yeah, it looks a little off too on the parallax effect. Like, it's bending a little bit too much. I wish I knew how to fix that, but I don't. But this stage I'll probably keep. Scaling might be off on it. It's kind of hard to say. I think maybe, just maybe, it should be shrunk a little. I don't know. But either way, this one's like the only one out of that set that I would keep. Okay, this stage is from Super Fantasy Zone, which is that old Sega shmup with a little like red spaceship guy. I think he's called like Opa Opa. If you ever played Yakuza, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Now it's not a bad picture or sprite work, I'm just a little worried on, like, should I even be walking on such a floor? So yeah, it looks like I'm walking on these, like, little flower trees or whatever the hell they are. It's pretty decent, I don't know, this is a big maybe for me. It's just if I wasn't walking on these, like, clearly, like, the art of these flowers, which looks off, it would probably be a definite keep. Also, if there was a really good Oppa character from Mugen, I'd probably want to keep it too. But if there is an Oppa character from Mugen, it's probably got size issues. Yeah, so big maybe on this one. Okay, this stage is from Katana Zero, and it's based off some DLC that wasn't out by the time he made it. Now, everything looks fine on the surface until you try to walk left when a character's on the right. Now, we can see that the bound is messed up because this happens. Watch Hinata. It's immediately getting pulled to the left, which is a pretty bad mistake. Not even sure, like, how he caused that, but I'd have to fix that up. There's no, like, exposed void at the top. And the scaling isn't necessarily off, because that guy in the distance could be way in the distance, at the, like, depending on the angle. So, no need to rescale. It just really needs that, like, bound error to be fixed. Okay, this is based on something called Memories Off Second. And while it's kind of grainy, and maybe there's a better rip out there, it doesn't look too bad. There's no exposed void or really like any massive scaling problems. So this is for me a probably just barely passing. I could try to AI upscale this. I'm not sure that would really be that worth it. So I'll put a pin in that, but I'm guessing I'm gonna keep it. Got Overlord Castle based on Disgaea 2. And while I see some serious JPEG damage in the background, which of course I don't like, it's pretty okay. I would say the scale on these printies is a little iffy because like the ones in the foreground are the same size as the ones in the background, but that's just me being a nitpicker. Also the sprite rips for like Etna and Laharl back here, like these printies look like ripped perfectly, but like Laharl and Etna just look like they have damage around the edges. I'm not sure why that happened. Should be able to like port the sprites directly in from the game somehow. Okay, the next stage is from that same creator, except this time it's from La Pucelle, which is like a precursor to Disgaea. And this stage is high res, where the last one was low res, and it shows. This one's an obvious keep for me. I mean, this looks really nice. I don't think I even have to do anything to it. Yep, no void, no sliding floor, it's fine. Got another La Pucelle stage, La Pucelle Church. And I really love how crisp the image is. I do wonder if there's a scaling issue, but that's really like nitpicking it. I don't think there's any technical issues, no exposed void or anything like that. So this is like another obvious keep for me. And another La Pucelle stage, the Holy Maiden Church. Now I'd have to go and hunt down music for this stage, but otherwise, like, I don't really have complaints. Once again, it's really crisp and nice looking. No technical problems. I really like it. And we're finishing the video with Lord Ceda Castle. It's from Makai Kingdom, which is kind of a spin-off from Disgaea. And the sprite work in the background on the characters looks pretty nice. I don't think the scale is really off that bad. At least not enough that I'm like super concerned with resizing it. I think it's quite nice. I'll definitely be keeping this.